Yo, good afternoon. Welcome to Continuously Inspired. It's Dervion Shakur, and today I'm here with my boy Tuwke, my dog, Mr.
Good,
Fiji Water, Mr. T, Mr. Green.
Got it right here, the chai
Yes,
tea.
yes, sir, yes, sir. The homie just dropped a tape called "It Could Have Been Worse" last week. Now, Tuwke, let me ask you, bro, what could have been worse in the process of making this EP?
What could have been worse? Pretty much everything. I don't know. That's kind of like been the mantra for me, low key, for like the last couple months. Is like people stress over the smallest shit. Like I be hearing people complaining about. Like I work at Spaghetti Factory. You know, it's a like low key job. People be stressing over like how the amount of tips they're getting, but there's a lot of people at the Spaghetti Factory that don't get paid. They don't get tips. So I'd be like, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it could have been worse. Like
Right.
You should be fortunate to be getting a certain amount of income.
100%.
So I don't know. That's like a small example, but really you could apply it to anything. Like it really could have been worse. Like we could be over here like, you know what I'm saying? No clothes, no money, no food, no housing, and we're fortunate to be in this small little studio. We got the Mac over here. We got all of our studio equipment, and it's really just it's really just a mantra. Like it really could have been worse. So people always got it worse than you do. That's
Certainly, bro. I definitely love how you worded that and how you expressed yourself on that, because there are a lot of situations where things could have been worse. You know, I was watching an interview the other day with LL Cool J and Mike Tyson.
right.
Mike Tyson has a podcast called Hot Boxing,
I heard
and
about it.
you heard about
Yeah, I
it,
heard about it.
bro. You gotta definitely check it. You gotta definitely check it out.
Mhm.
And in an interview, LL Cool J says something that made a lot of sense. He says, "Deja vu is seeing something that looks familiar, right? And he said, "Vujade is seeing something familiar but in a new way." You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that was mind-boggling, because I've never heard of that word.
Me neither.
Not only that, it makes a lot of sense, because there are situations where you can see something, you can have a lot of experiences in life, and then one day something click, and that same situation that used to bother you no longer bother you the same exact way.
Right.
So the fact that you said it could have been worse, and that has been the mantra lately, to me that's incredible. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when you created "It Could Have Been Worse," was it something that you already had planned on creating in terms of creating an EP, or was this something that came organic to you?
Honestly, I had the name first. I give credit to my cousin Johnny.
Shout out to Johnny.
Yeah,
shout out to Johnny.
J-Light. Yeah. I don't know. He would always just say that just for the randomest things, and it just stuck with me. Like it could have been worse. I'm like, damn, that would sound tight if that was like a song title, or like if it was an album title or whatever. So that was always in my head. As far as the EP, those were just like some songs that I just had some songs were like 75% done, 25% done, like here and there. And then when I had that title, I'm like, I want to like drop an EP and like put it together, 4 or 5 simple small songs. If people are always complaining about how my tracks are too short, or like my tapes are too short, but I'm like, hey, it could have been worse.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, that's always gonna be my response to when people ask me like, what's the name of my track, or
right,
what was my thought process going through it. Could have been worse.
Definitely, bro. Definitely. So, 2K, when you wrote the song Canteen Flashing?
It's like Canteen Flash Ting.
Canteen
It's a tongue twister. I know, bro. I fucked it up so many times too. Canteen Flask Ting. Yeah.
Canteen Flashing.
There you go.
When you wrote that song, and one of the lines you mentioned ducking off, and people asking where you been, was that something that you needed to do in terms of being, whenever you're in creative mode or album mode, or was that something that you felt like you needed to do that was like well needed time away from everything?
Yeah. It was just me time. You know what I'm saying? Like whenever I work on my own songs, I usually just be in the studio. Like everybody knows, I kind of just be in the studio by myself. I don't really show a lot of people my songs. It's besides my brother, but he has to engineer my shit, so he's gonna hear it eventually.
Right.
But yeah, I try to stay away from outside influences for the most part, just because I don't know. I care about what my homies think, and I care about what people think about my music. So if they tell me, oh, I like this song, but this part was, whatever, that's going to get stuck in my head. So whenever I hear the song, I'm like, fuck, should I redo the verse, or should I, something's wrong with this song. So I just completely eliminated all outside influences and kind of just stuck with my intuition, with my intuitive channel, and just stuck to what I knew.
Have that always been something that you've done, or has that something that you incorporated in your creative process recently?
No, that's low key been something I've always done, and been trying to get like better at. But I'm also trying to get better at taking in input and applying it. Like now that tape's out, I have people telling me like giving me good criticism and bad criticism, and I'm kind of just taking it how it goes. But for the most part, yeah, this has been something since day one. This has kind of been my recipe, and I guess it's working.
Definitely, bro. I would definitely say that. Now, on the second song on the album is called Hideout.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I felt like, you know, Hideout was a statement track.
Mm-hmm.
Can you elaborate on how that song even came about?
The Hideout is pretty much the studio. It's the
Mm-hmm.
studio. Like I said, you know, that's my time to get away and focus on me. That's my me time. So Hideout is just a studio, and that's me just getting away and literally blocking out all those outside influences and really just working on my craft. Like I don't, like in the song I'm saying, like I'm on my own pace. I'm on my own time.
Mm-hmm.
There's no time limit. I'm an independent artist, so there's no label behind me saying, hey, like drop the album now or like put this out right now. It's just I have power. That's why I chose to do rap, was because this is like a job, but I also have fun doing it, but it's a job that nobody needs to be on me for.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's telling me like, oh, you need to be in the studio right now, you need to get out this time, you need to drop this, you need to drop that. I'm my own boss. So that's pretty much what that track's about.
Got you. With saying that, do you see yourself continuously being an independent artist, or do you see yourself eventually getting with the powerhouse or some sort of label that is well established already?
I respect the artists that are like independent artists. Like Chance the Rapper is a good one. You know, he's getting all of his money the right way. He's getting a lot of money. He's getting a lot of
For
money
sure.
because he has no one behind it yet.
For sure.
Exactly. And so
For
that's
sure.
inspiring, and I want to see myself doing that in future too, where I'm recouping. I'm getting a lot of the money that I'm putting into my stuff. And yeah, I mean, for the most part, for now, yeah, just I want to continue to be independent. But if the right label offers, you know, a good contract, then we could discuss, you know, further details from there.
For
But
sure.
Right now, I just want to be solo. Yeah.
Salute to that.
Appreciate
Do you have any artists? Is there any artists out currently that influences your sound or your music?
I mean, recently, I think I was telling PJ, I found myself listening to a lot of like female artists.
Gotcha.
And you know, women are kind of on the rise right now too in the music industry. Like Tuwke is a good one. Rico Nasty. There's this girl named Amber Mark. She's an R&B artist. She's amazing. She's about to blow up. Yeah, and like a lot of like house music. My homie sent me a lot of house beats, so I always vibe with those. It's like Mood Rings or a house track.
Being raised in an African household, how has that been influential on your perspective on life? Just coming from a household where, from our people,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, doing what's correct at all times. How has that shaped your perspective on life, on how you go about things on a daily basis?
It shows me that, you know, there's no excuse for me to not make it. Cause you know, I have immigrant parents. Both of them, they came when they had like right when my sister was born over here. I don't know around what time, but it was a long time ago. But yeah, so it's like no excuse for me not to make it. Cause if they came from Africa, West Africa, or Central Africa, and came all the way over here, barely any dimes in their pocket. Going to Long Beach Community College and then going to Cal State Fullerton and now being a doctor. My dad's a doctor, my mom's a nurse at UCI. It's like I have no excuse being born and raised over here and being given a good life, you know? Being given a good life. So like my parents are always inspiring to me, and it just shows me that I need to always be on it, I need to always be working, no distractions, and just to always get to it. There's no excuse at all.
Shout out to your parents for that, bro, because that's major to be able to have parents that's able to, you know, to be able to set you and your siblings off on the right track, which I think is major because I think sometime in life, I often think that in life it's a track meet. And some people start off in the starting line. Other people start off behind.
Right.
Some people start off a little ahead of the starting line, you know?
Yeah.
But I believe that it is a track meet and that it's a relay race. And the fact that your parents was able to hand you the baton off a little ahead,
yeah.
that's major, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know you mentioned, I know that you mentioned a mill. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Old Man Jenkins.
Yes, sir.
I know that you mentioned he used to get in trouble for writing down 50 Cent's lyrics.
Yeah.
How do your parents feel about you guys doing music currently?
My dad doesn't know.
Well, he may know now.
He might know now. Shit. We go live. Yeah, my dad has no idea. But my mom has been very supportive. You know, like we used to have a studio back at home. You know, we used to have a gang of homies come through, like Tavi, Chino, the whole squad. Everybody's always coming through. My mom's sleeping. She could hear all the, you know, the 808s banging through the door, and you know the studio actually. It used to be the original setup was in her room, in her closet. So when she was sleeping, it was like her bed's right here, and then the studio's where you're at, and so she would always be up, and she was always encouraging, like she always supported this, and really my mom's really just the only one that knows, and she's just supported us since day one.
Shout out to moms. How do you feel your dad would feel if he knew that you guys were doing music, especially at the level that you guys are doing music at? Because you guys are not just doing it saying this is a hobby. This is what you guys want to do as a career. You know what I'm saying? So, how do you think he'll feel?
He told me to go get a real job. He told me, like, go be a doctor, go be a lawyer, like go get actual real legal money. But yeah, no, honestly, if he found out I was rapping right now, he knows I'm an adult. He knows like I'm a responsible adult. So he'd be like, okay, that's what you want to do it. I know he still has his views towards it, where it's like it's still rap music and it's not. It probably isn't the best like lucrative way to earn money.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if I do start making money off of this, then I bet he would agree with my career choice after.
Oh yeah, for sure, bro. For sure.
Yeah.
Nah, totally dig that, bro. So one of the things that I've always noticed about you is your metaphors has always been on point. You know, one of the few cats that one of the few cats that I know who can explain something metaphorically, and to me, I think that, you know, as a person who love words, for a person to be able to put something in a metaphoric way, your mind, you have to be thinking at such a to me, you have to be able to operate at such a high level that you have to be able to explain something like intricate, abstract, and explain it in a way to where we can understand it and see it visually.
Right.
One of the things that you said on Canteen Flashting is that you said Mama had a C-section, so I'm nowhere near pussy.
Yeah, that's facts, by the way. I had a C-section. I was a big baby.
Shout out. Hey, to me, when I heard that, bro, man, I'm like, wow, bro. You know what I'm saying? Immediately when I heard that, I'm like, okay, Tuwke is always hitting the metaphors, and any real nigga can relate to that. Right. You know what I'm saying? Any real nigga can relate to that. So when you said that, I'm like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Your love for metaphor, where did that come from?
Man, there's a lot of artists that do it. Like I mentioned earlier, Capital Steez was a big one. He had those bars where like you would have to stop the song and be like, wait, hold up. He just said da-da-da.
Yeah.
And you gotta run it back, or you gotta go on Rap Genius and like really dissect the words and see the words like really in your face to understand it. So that was mad inspiring. Absol is like one of the best people to do it in my opinion as well. Honestly, those two artists in particular were the ones to really kick it off for me, where it's like, dang, I need to be on that level where I could say a sentence and then have people want to run it back 1,000 times. Like, So that, yeah, those are definitely my influences right there.
Those are great influences, especially Capital Steez, R.P.
Right.
Rest in peace for sure. And then Absol, one of the most lyrical genius. One of the guys who I think doesn't get his credit. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, start giving Absol his fucking credit, man, because this man been doing this shit, and he's definitely not only one of the best on TDE, but he's one of the best lyricists, top 5, which makes me think, who is your top 5 favorite artists?
Sheesh. Oh, you put me on the spot with that one.
For sure.
Top
Dead or
5.
alive?
Dead or alive?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow. That's a good one. You know, for the sake of arguments, I'm gonna put Kendrick up there because somebody might hate me if I don't.
Got you.
But honestly, yeah, Kendrick was one of my first favorite rappers to start off, and is a big reason why I'm even doing this in the first place. So shout out Kendrick.
Shout out.
My brother was also a big part in my rap career too. Cause at first, people don't really know this, but at first when my brother started rapping, I was the one engineering his shit.
Wow.
Yeah, he was on like this weird laptop. I can't even tell you the brand. It was a long time ago, like 2000s. He was rapping, and then I was engineering him. And now the roles are reversed. You know, like 10 years later, it's crazy. So he was inspiring to me. Man, I love the way 50 raps. I love the way 50 raps. He always gets his point across.
For sure.
The beats were A1.
That's right.
Man. So and Lloyd Banks at the time too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say those few artists for right now. I don't have a fifth spot. I want to be confident in saying me, but I'm not where I want to be yet. So yeah, just those four right there were kind of like that's like my Mount Rushmore for right now.
Definitely, those are. That's a great list. You know what I'm saying? Especially those guys that you mentioned, because those for sure those are artists that have came into this game and have been influential in many different ways. They have inspired so many different people, and they have helped shape the industry for what it is currently. So, and of course, mention it, Emil. To me, that's one of the most illest artists as well. 100%. And the way that he goes about things. I've been in the studio with your brother Emil, and just to be able to see him in the process and to see how focused he is when he's in the studio, and how he could be looking at the screen and he's engineering something. He can stare, he can hear it, and he can hear it. It's like he's able to tap into a whole different type of rhythm when he's doing something musically. You know what I'm saying? He has that knack, and you know, that's something that everybody don't have. So definitely shout out to him, bro. Yeah. What is next for you, Tuwke?
Man.
What is next, brother?
Shit. 30-song album.
Hey, for real. Fuck it then. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it then.
Nah, man. I can't do that. I'd get tired of hearing myself, honestly. That's how I'd be. Like, sometimes I get tired of hearing my shit over and over again. And then I'll try to move on to something else. Right now, I'm trying to drop another, like, 5-piece combo, you know, another 5-piece EP. And I'm just working on new shit every day, new ideas. I get new ideas all the time. So I'm kind of trying to finish up other stuff that I had. Like we talked off record. You're mentioning like how I had no features on my tape. I actually did initially, but just the way things were going, like I was gonna have I have this other song that shout out JR, he produced it.
Shout out.
Yeah, it was gonna have Justice and Spot on it. It's still going to, like, we still have the song too. It's still being worked on, but I decided not to put it on this EP just because, you know, I don't like to rush. I don't like to rush shit. I feel like if you have to rush it, don't do it. There's always a time and a place for things. Spot was working on, you know, he's a musician and an actor as well, so he has his obligations, and Justice is also an artist. Shout out Justice.
Shout out Justice for sure.
Yeah, so she has her projects and songs she's working on as well, so I don't want to be like, yo, my stuff's more important, I'm about to drop this, like, stop what you're doing and come work on my shit, because no, that's not the case. So yeah, eventually these songs are going to be done, they're going to be out, but I just chose not to put any, those were going to be the only features on the tape, so I just decided, you know, there's going to be a time and place for that.
Definitely, bro. As far as in musically, what is making it to you? When do you see it? What, like, if you can elaborate and describe, what does the top of the mountain look like to you? When you finally got to that point where you said, I've made it. What does that look like to you?
When I can go on YouTube and see 2K type beats.
That's it.
Yeah, but nah, I mean, it's a joke, but like, it's serious at the same time, where it's like, I could go on YouTube and then see some dude that's freaking, you know, trying to dissect one of my albums and like rating it and saying, oh, it's trash or oh, it's good. Like, I don't know, that's kind of like making it to me, because that was me. Like, I'm the one now used to go on YouTube and type in blah blah type beat, or just watch interviews from different artists. So when this interview blows up too, like, that's when I'm gonna feel like I made it. You know,
definitely, bro. Definitely. And outside of just music, what do you enjoy doing? What, outside of music, outside of just writing, recording? Because I know you mentioned earlier in a conversation in the interview, you mentioned, of course you were joking, but you said doing a 30-song album, and you said, but you also said I would get tired of hearing myself.
Yeah.
So of course, when you're doing music, or outside of music, what do you enjoy doing? What helps you balance this stuff out? Because I think sometimes being too invested in something, it can drive you insane. It can create this feeling of insanity.
100%.
What do you enjoy doing outside of just creating music?
I'm a big basketball fan.
Gotcha.
You know, everybody knows I love to hoop. So, you know, if anybody wants their ankles broken, we could do that.
Come on now, come on.
I think I'm a better hooper than I am rapper. So. Nah, but man, like, yeah, I like to hoop. I love to work out. And just like I love listening to other people's music. Aside from rap, like I was mentioning the Parcels earlier, they're more of like a house like neo soul type band, and I just love listening to stuff like that. You know, I've heard of Erykah Badu obviously, but like I really started getting into her like this year and her songs and that neo soul wave, and I just love vibing out. You know, I smoke weed, so usually I'll take my me time aside from my studio time. I'll go in the car and just throw on some music and, you know, spark one up and just, you know, evaluate my ideas and just try to be outside of kind of step outside the artist bubble and kind of just take everything in as it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely, bro. Is there anything else that you would love to, you know what I'm saying, shout out, or anything else that you would love for the people to give before, you know what I'm saying, before we wrap it up?
It Could Have Been Worse, out now.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? 5 songs.
Make sure you listen.
Please. I get paid like 5 cents a stream, so I appreciate that. And yeah, man, we just gonna keep it moving. We just gonna keep on making new shit. I'm gonna start working with a lot more people. Hopefully I can get my name buzzing around. I'm in that promotion stage where I'm just trying to push out my content for right now and get more ears to listen to my stuff. Shows coming soon. And when I mean soon, hopefully like towards the end of the year.
Salute.
And, yeah, we just gonna keep the ball rolling and keep on going.
Got you. Hey, 2K, where can the people find you at?
You can find me on Twitter. It's real simple, at 2KX, at TUWKEX. Same thing for Instagram, same thing for SoundCloud. Type me in on Google and it should have everything right there. Yeah.
That's it. Hey,
That's it.
2K, I appreciate your time,
Appreciate
bro.
you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you so much, bro.
100%.
Continuously inspired. Hey, we out.